Welcome guys back to another video in the channel. We are doing our match preview predicted lineup for Arsenal's home game against MOLDE FK, the Norwegian side. We will go into an in-depth analysis about who they are, what are they about, where are they from, and who have they won. But for Arsenal, this should be a relatively easy walk in the park, as was the Dundalk game. Yes, we only did win 3-0, but looking at our game in the Premier League, we beat Manchester United 1-0 at Old Trafford. A huge result for us, a huge relief for the sides, as we did win for the first time since 2006 at their ground. So this game against Molde should be an easy one, a bit of a relaxing one, getting ready for our game against Aston Villa in the league. Now again, for this game, come on, anything less than a win is unacceptable. We have to win this game. Again, even if we draw or lose, it doesn't mean a lot, but I do want to see a lot of the youngsters play. Florian Balogun made his first team appearance for Arsenal against Dundalk as a substitute. I thought he should have got a few chances, but Nelson didn't slide a few through balls. But again, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to put him in my starting 11 for this game, but I think we just need to, sort a few, maybe like the last two games we put Balogun up front, as like a starter. But for now, I will go with the experienced second team we have been going with, starting with Nketiah up front. But we'll go into the predicted lineup after we've done the analysis on Molde. But has to be easy game, nothing less, nothing more. We've got Aston Villa next in the league, so it's going to be very difficult, and we can't be playing too many of our very good players like Aubameyang, Lacazette, Willian, who again, I don't rate Willian too much, but Arteta likes him, so we'll have to go with him. But I think it has to be a very easy walk in the park for us. I will say it again and again because it has to be said. And I think for Arsenal, we've been lucky with our group. We've got a very good group. Over the last few years in the Europa League, we usually got quite hard groups with quite hard teams in it. Not hard, but quite difficult. And you do have to put out some strong 11s for the first few games. But I think for this one, we've got very lucky. The only hard game I see in this group was Rapid Vienna away, and we've already played that game. So I'm very confident coming into this one, and hopefully we can pick up the win. So now we'll get into so we are going to read a bit more about Molde and who they are. We've done this with Rapid Vienna and Dundalk now, so we're going to do the same thing with Molde. We're going to have a quick look at their history, a bit about them, the opponent, a bit of opposition preview. So Molde Football Club is a professional football club based in Molde in Norway that competes in the Eliteserien in the top flight of Norwegian football. They were founded in 19 June of 1911, and the club were originally known as International and changed its name to Molde FK in 1915. Molde are four-time league champions in 2011, 12, 14 and 2019, and are four-time Norwegian Cup winners in 1994, 05, 2013 and 14, and have finished second in the league a further 9 times. Molde is only one of 2 Norwegian clubs to have participated in the UEFA Champions League. The club's home matches are played in the 11,000 capacity Aker Stadion. The stadium was inaugurated in 1998 and was a gift from local businessmen Carl Igne Roque and Bjørn Rune Gleidsten. Sorry if these pronunciations are wrong. The club was formerly based at Molde Stadion, which hosted the club's record attendance of 14,600. Molde Supporter Club is called Ton Karet, Thicket of Thorns, a reference to the city's nickname, the Town of Roses, and was founded after the 1994 Norwegian Cup final victory. Molde has its strongest rivalry with Rosenborg. Until the beginning of 1970s, the club mainly played in the local lower division league, except for a short visit in the Hovedstriden in the 58 season. In 74, Molde was back in the top division and finished second in the league, and having since become one of the Norway's leading clubs and generally stayed in the top division. Molde also finished second in the league in 1987 when the club lost the championship to Moss in the decisive match of the season. During the 1990s and beginning of 2000s, Molde was the second best team in Norway, behind 13 times in a row champions Rosenborg, with league silver medals in 95, 98, 99 and 02, and cup championships in 94 and 05, as well as participation in the UEFA Champions League in 1999 and 2000, where Real Madrid, Porto and Olympiacos visited Molde. As of 2017, the club has approximately 1,000 members and around 55 teams in 3 departments. Erling Moe is the current manager of the club since taking over as caretaker manager on 19 December 2018 when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer left the position to manage Manchester United as the caretaker manager. On 29 April 2019, it was announced that Mo signed a contract as permanent head coach till the end of the season. So that is Molde. We're not going to go through the full history because there is really no point in doing that, but we are going to try and find the honours. We are looking at all the honours. So They've won the first tier of Elite CDN. They've won it 4 times, runners-up 9 times, and third 3 times. In the second tier, they've won it 3 times, and in the third tier, they've won it twice. In the cup, they've won it 4 times, with being runners-up twice, and they've actually won a double in 2014, where they won the cup and the league. And non-official, they won the La Manga Cup in 2010, and most appearances for the club was Daniel Berg-Hidstad, 666. Most goals, Jean Fuxlet, 164. Most goals scored in the league game was Jean Fuxlet, 6 goals versus Stromsgodt in 1976. Longest unbeaten run was in 24 games in 2014. Greatest victory in the league was 8-0 versus Moss in 96, and the heaviest loss in the league was 8-0 loss versus Stabæk in 2006. So that is what this team is. That is MOLDE for you guys. I think for me, MOLDE mostly represents Erling Haaland and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when they were both at the club. Obviously, Haaland didn't stay there long because he ended up moving to Salzburg, and then he ended up moving, obviously, now to Borussia Dortmund. So that's his MOLDE, and let's now get straight into the predicted lineups. Starting off in goal, we're going to go with Runar Alex Runarsson. I thought in the last game versus Dundalk, he was a very good. You know, again, I know it's Dundalk and he didn't face many chances, but I thought the chances he had in the air just to collect it. I think no matter where you're playing Dundalk or you're playing Man City, Liverpool, Barcelona, you know, catching, it's something, you know, it's just the same thing. And I thought his catching was very good. His distribution was also very good. So I want to see him play this game at home to MOLDE again, and hopefully he can give us another clean sheet as we did against Dundalk. Again, I'm not going to put too much emphasis on that Dundalk game simply because it's Dundalk, to be honest. And that is Runar Alex Runarsson. So we are now going to go into the back 4. I'm going to go into 4-3-3. I think that is something we need to go with. So starting off in the right back row, I'm going to go with Cedric Suarez. I think, you know, last few games in these Europa League games, he's just been pretty decent and he's got the job done for us. He's not made any silly mistakes. He's been pretty decent. He's not a Premier League, you know, he's not going to get into our first team. I think Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Hector Bellerin are definitely above him in the pecking order, but I think in some of these games against likes of Dundalk, against Rapid Vienna, and hopefully in this game against MOLDE, he can get the job done for us, and I have a lot of faith in him to deliver because he has a lot of experience. And moving into left back row, we are going to go with Sead Kolasinac. Again, very similar to Cedric in the terms of, you know, he's not going to get into our first 11, so in these games he's playing alright, he's doing nothing too wrong, to be honest. And you know, when you play teams like this, even if you make some silly mistakes, you're not going to get as punished for them. So I think these games for some of these players are perfect. And Sead Kolasinac looked like he was going to leave in the summer, but then he didn't, and he stayed, and he's doing alright in some of these games, but I still think we need to get rid of him. Moving into the 2 now, first of all, on the right of the centre-back, I'll go with Skodran Mustafi. I thought he would have played in the game against Manchester United, since he did come off 60 minutes through to the Dundalk game. He actually came off, which was a bit surprising to me. Like, surprising in the sense that you'd probably start the United game, but then he didn't. And Rob Holding made a surprise return to the team, which again wasn't expected. We thought he was going to be out for another couple of weeks, but then came back, recovery, and he did very well against Manchester United. If you haven't watched my post-match player ratings for that game and match reaction, go check it out. It's going to be the last video on my channel, I believe. But yeah, Mustafi again in these games, just give him some games, and hopefully you can get rid of him in January. I think players like him, Kolasinac, you can just play in these sort of Europa League games, and then hopefully they run out their contracts and they leave. We did actually offer Mustafi a contract, but then he rejected it, which was a bit strange. But we move on and we go into left centre back, and I want to go with Pablo Mari. He has been out for quite a while, you know, ever since the Man City game June 17th, when we did come out of the lockdown in Project Restart, and I thought Pablo Mari looked very decent in that game, as I've always said, and then he got injured and he's been out ever since. I really want to see him come back into the side, as I do think he can be a very good deputy to Gabriel as a left centre back. And again, he has a lot of quality, a lot of experience as well, at a very high level. So I think in some of these European games, especially when we get to the latter stages of the competition, he'll be very helpful for us. So I'll go Pablo Mari. Moving into the midfield, first of all, on the left side of that midfield, I'll go with Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka did not play at all in the game. I don't think at all anyway in the game against Manchester United, and I do think he'll come in for this game. Just give him a few minutes as well. And yeah, Xhaka, he gets the job done for you. He's not the most amazing player, but he's quite rock solid in what he does, quite average as well. So you do your job in these games, especially when it's against MOLDE. There isn't much risk. And yeah, moving into the right-sided centre mid sort of role, and I'll go with Dani Ceballos. Dani Ceballos again didn't play the game against Manchester United, as we did go with the pivot of Partey and El Neni. But I do think in this game he will come back again to give him some minutes. We do have 5 substitutions in this game versus Molde in these European games in the Europa League, and we do have a lot more substitutes. So if we do intend on using Xhaka or Sabas in the Premier League against Aston Villa, then we can sub them off in 50-60 minutes when we probably have won the game by then. So I will go with Xhaka and Sabas. As a number 10, I will go with Joe Willock. He was very, very good in the Dundalk game, and I really want to see him play this game as well. Surprised he didn't even make the bench for the United game, but I think these sort of games, in these games against sort of Molde, these sort of teams, he'll do very well for us, and I have no doubt in putting him in the side. He'll give us a lot of creativity. Moving into the front three now, first of all, on the right-hand side, I will go with Nicolas Pepe. Pepe again, he came off around 60 minutes against Dundalk, and he didn't play the game against Manchester United. I don't think he featured as well, as Willian did start that game for us. I was a bit surprised by that decision, because why did he take him off then, as he did score a screamer against Dundalk? But again, it was a very tactical decision from Arteta, and one that people weren't happy with. But in the end, it didn't matter, because we beat United, and we completely outclassed them, bullied them, as many people are saying. So yeah, Pepe hopefully does come back in for this game. I want to see him play these games, give him a lot of confidence, give him assists, goals, and then hopefully we can integrate him into the Premier League team, because we have paid £72 million for this footballer. So yeah, Pepe is in from the start for me. On the left hand side, I'll go Reece Nelson, again very good, as well as Joe Willock was in the game against Dundalk. Gave us a lot of energy, creativity. Maybe he needs to release the ball a bit quicker. He could have slid in Balogun. I've said this a few times, but again, you have to reiterate the point. He's still young, the decision making does need to improve, but again, he needs to be good in these games. He needs to show Arteta that he can play in the games in the Premier League as well. So no problem with going with Reece Nelson. Up front as the main striker, I will go with Eddie Nketiah. Nketiah, again, he's been pretty decent, to be honest. He's done his job, and he's been good enough, and he scored as well against Dundalk, and hopefully he can continue a scoring run. So that is it for my predicted lineup for this game against Molde at home. Hopefully we can get the job done. I suppose we will probably get the job done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave your predictions and thoughts in the comment section down below. Where do you think the score will be? An easy walk in the park, or will Arsenal make it difficult? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.